What am I doing?
I am sweeping the floor.
Sweeping.
What am I doing?
I am mopping the floor.
Mopping.
What am I doing?
I am dusting the shelves.
Dusting.
What am I doing?
I am tidying up my desk.
Tidying up.
What am I doing?
I am doing the laundry.
Doing.
What am I doing?
I am hanging the clothes.
Hanging.
What am I doing?
I am ironing the clothes.
Ironing.
What am I doing?
I am folding the laundry.
Folding.
What am I doing?
I am making my bed.
Making.
What am I doing?
I am taking out the trash.
Taking out.
I am cleaning the windows.
Cleaning.
What am I doing?
I am wiping the table.
Wiping.
I am vacuuming the carpet.
Vacuuming.
What am I doing?
I am spraying air freshener.
Spraying.
What am I doing?
I am knocking on the door.
Knocking.
What am I doing?
I am squeezing an orange.
Squeezing.
What am I doing?
I am crushing a can.
Crushing.
What am I doing?
I am pressing the button.
Pressing.
What am I doing?
I am wringing the towel.
Ringing.
What am I doing?
I am flattening the dough.
Flattening.
What am I doing?
I am squashing a bug.
Squashing.
What am I doing?
I am stirring my coffee.
Stirring.
What am I doing?
I am tearing paper.
Tearing.
What am I doing?
I am peeling a banana.
Peeling.
What am I doing?
I am pumping the bike tire.
Pumping.
What am I doing?
I am pushing the shopping cart.
Pushing.
What am I doing?
I am calling a taxi.
Calling.
What am I doing?
I am getting on the bus.
Getting on.
What am I doing?
I am getting off the bus.
Getting off.
What am I doing?
I am getting in the car.
Getting in.
What am I doing?
I am getting out of the car.
Getting out of.
What am I doing?
I am going through security.
Going through.
What am I doing?
I am boarding the plane.
Boarding.
What am I doing?
I am checking in.
Checking in.
What am I doing?
I am checking out.
Checking out.
What am I doing?
I am renting a car.
Renting.
What am I doing?
I am getting gas.
Getting gas.
What am I doing?
I am riding a bike.
Riding.
What am I doing?
I am wiping the mirror.
Wiping.
What am I doing?
I am washing the dishes.
Washing.
What am I doing?
I am drying the glass.
Drying.
What am I doing?
I am ironing the t-shirt.
Ironing.
What am I doing?
I am changing the light bulb.
Changing.
What am I doing?
I am dressing the child.
Dressing.
What am I doing?
I am hanging the laundry.
Hanging.
What am I doing?
I am scrubbing the toilet.
Scrubbing.
What am I doing?
I am making the bed.
Making.
What am I doing?
I am sharpening the knife.
Sharpening.
What am I doing?
I am watering the plants.
Watering.
What am I doing?
I am putting the pillow in the case.
Pudding.
What am I doing?
I am sweeping the floor.
Sweeping.
What am I doing?
I am mopping the floor.
Mopping.
What am I doing?
I am vacuuming the floor.
Vacuuming.
What am I doing?
I am preparing dinner.
Preparing.
What am I doing?
I am charging my phone.
Charging.
What am I doing?
I am adjusting the volume.
Adjusting.
What am I doing?
I am printing a document.
Printing.
What am I doing?
I am vacuuming the floor.
Vacuuming.
What am I doing?
I am applying sunscreen.
Applying.
What am I doing?
I am dusting the shelves.
Dusting.
What am I doing?
I am labeling the boxes.
Labeling.
What am I doing?
I am stretching before exercise.
Stretching.
What am I doing?
I am assembling the furniture.
Assembling.
What am I doing?
I am weighing myself.
Weighing.
What am I doing?
I am walking in the park.
Walking.
What am I doing?
I am measuring my waist.
Measuring.
What am I doing?
I am doing warm-up exercises.
Doing warm-up.
What am I doing?
I am stretching my legs.
Stretching.
What am I doing?
I am running on the treadmill.
Running.
What am I doing?
I am jogging on the beach.
Jogging.
What am I doing?
I am skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
What am I doing?
I am doing yoga.
Doing yoga.
What am I doing?
I am skipping rope.
Skipping.
What am I doing?
I am roller skating.
Roller skating.
What am I doing?
I am climbing the stairs.
Climbing.
What am I doing?
I am sweeping the floor.
Sweeping.
What am I doing?
I am mopping the floor.
Mopping.
What am I doing?
I am dusting the shelves.
Dusting.
What am I doing?
I am tidying up my desk.
Tidying up.
What am I doing?
I am doing the laundry.
Doing.
What am I doing?
I am hanging the clothes.
Hanging.
What am I doing?
I am ironing the clothes.
Ironing.
What am I doing?
I am folding the laundry.
Folding.
What am I doing?
I am making my bed.
Making.
What am I doing?
I am taking out the trash.
Taking out.
I am cleaning the windows.
Cleaning.
What am I doing?
I am wiping the table.
Wiping.
I am vacuuming the carpet.
Vacuuming.
What am I doing?
I am spraying air freshener.
Spraying. What am I doing? I am building a wall.
Building.
What am I doing? I am measuring the wooden board.
Measuring.
What am I doing? I am cutting the wooden floor.
Cutting.
What am I doing? I am painting the wall.
Painting.
What am I doing? I am smoothing the surface.
Smoothing.
What am I doing? I am drilling a hole.
Drilling.
What am I doing? I am hammering a nail.
Hammering.
What am I doing? I am mixing the concrete.
Mixing.
What am I doing? I am tightening the screws.
Tightening.
What am I doing? I am leveling the concrete floor.
Leveling.
What am I doing? I am welding the metal.
Welding.
What am I doing? I am checking the level.
Checking.
What am I doing? I am watering the plants. What am I doing? I am walking the dog. What am I doing? I am feeding the dog. What am I doing? I am painting the wall. What am I doing? I am wrapping the gift. What am I doing? I'm hanging the clothes. What am I doing? I am polishing the shoes. What am I doing? I am folding the laundry. What am I doing? I am washing the dishes. What am I doing? I am wiping the table.
What am I doing?
I'm catching a fish.
Catching.
What am I doing?
I'm pushing the wheelchair.
Pushing.
What am I doing?
I'm pulling out tissues.
Pulling out.
What am I doing?
I'm getting a haircut.
Getting.
What am I doing?
I'm digging a hole.
Digging.
What am I doing?
I'm breaking apart a baguette.
Breaking apart.
What am I doing?
I'm delivering a package.
Delivering.
What am I doing?
I'm brushing the leaves.
Brushing.
What am I doing?
I'm trimming the shrubs.
Trimming.
What am I doing?
I'm crawling on the carpet.
Crawling.
What am I doing?
I am slicing a banana.
Slicing.
What am I doing?
I am sifting the flour.
Sifting.
What am I doing?
I am creaming the butter.
Creaming.
What am I doing?
I am frying pancakes.
Frying.
What am I doing?
I am rolling sushi.
Rolling.
What am I doing?
I am pouring oil into the pan.
Pouring.
What am I doing?
I am spreading butter on the bread.
Spreading.
What am I doing?
I am grinding salt onto the meat.
Grinding.
What am I doing?
I am deep frying a chicken cutlet.
Deep frying.
What am I doing?
I am drizzling chocolate sauce over the pancake.
Drizzling.
What am I doing? I am prying the cap. What am I doing? I am popping the cork. What am I doing? I am lifting the tab. What am I doing? I am twisting the jar. What am I doing? I am unscrewing the bottle. What am I doing? I am pouring a drink. What am I doing? I am tearing the packet. What am I doing? Comment below.